I just wanted to touch on this. While I think Aaron Banks will be the starting right guard, I'm interested to see how that's going to play out in training camp specifically. I want to see how the 49ers handle that. And I specifically want to see how he fits into this run scheme, because we know how well he did in pass protection at Notre Dame specifically. I think he only allowed like 2 sacks or something like that. So I know you broke down his film. How do you see him fitting in that Kyle Shanahan running scheme? Because I feel like that's the biggest question with Aaron Banks right now.
Yeah, definitely talked about it on Locked On 49ers with my co-host, Brian Peacock. And the one thing that stood out to really both of us was he doesn't have the ideal movement skills that you would assume Kyle Shanahan and that offense would covet, right? Like a lot of the guys that they've had have been these lighter, kind of leaner guys that are able to really move extremely well in space. And he's not really that. He's more of a guy that you would see along the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line, just big kind of maulers, right? And I heard Kyle Shanahan, those guys say, they're looking for skill set, right? Like even though a guy maybe isn't the weight, from, 6'5", 305 pounds, what we kind of seen from a lot of the 49ers linemen, but they're like, well, we covered the skill set. But even then, looking at his skill set, I'm like, no, like he's hella big and he's 350 pounds or whatever it is. And I feel like he moves like somebody like that. Like we're not talking about Trent Williams, the way he's able to move out there in space. So I'm definitely interested and intrigued to see, how he fits with what they want to do, because I thought if there was one area where he kind of struggled, it was being able to, move, reach blocks, get out in space. I saw a screenplay where he just couldn't get there. I saw a guy make a move on him in space when he was just in a stationary kind of blocking position when he was getting to his pass set. And the dude just got him and he just like reached out and grabbed him and held him. So they didn't throw the flag, but just watching and evaluating him, I was like, you know what? I feel like that's an area where he definitely can improve at. So if he improves on being able to move in space, I think there's definitely something there.
And just real quick, my last question on Banks would be, and I kind of heard you talk about this a little bit already, so I'm not too unfamiliar with this, but I kind of heard you talk about this, how you think Kyle could protect a guy like Aaron Banks and maybe not put him in too many positions where he's going to be asked to do too much. So do you think that's kind of going to be the situation where they'll give him more and more responsibility the more comfortable he is?
I think all coaches, they want to find out first and foremost, like, maybe it looked a certain way, but how has he improved on that? Maybe try to show him areas in OTAs or heading into training camp. Like, look, we like you doing this, this, and this, but you really need to improve on this. And I would assume that is his movement skills. So if he can just get a little bit lighter on his feet, get a little bit better moving out in space, and then him really work and focus on that aspect of his game. And I'm pretty sure Kyle Shanahan, those guys told him, look, we want you to do this so we don't have to scale back on what we want to do, or even have to, not have you start, at right guard, right? Like we want you to take control of this position, but we need to improve in this area so we can run our offense the way we want to run it efficiently. I can see them doing something like that, especially if he improves. I think it'll all work out.